Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello dear students, you are most welcome in Senior 5 Entrepreneurship presentation for today. As usual, our unity, the unity is 8, okay? We are dealing with unity 8, which says the office procedure, okay? Now, the lesson 3, as the lesson to be discussed today, it is telecommunication. You have studied about telecommunication. It is not for your first time to hear the word telecommunication. And of course, students, I expect from you to achieve the objective, which is very simple and easy to achieve, which says, be able to explain the disadvantages of telecommunications in the business, okay? As you remember, last time we tried to explain what is telecommunication. You know the meaning of telecommunication. We tried to list some methods that you can use in telecommunication. You have got used to this. We also tried to explain a lot the disadvantages. We had the long list of disadvantages of telecommunication. As you know, any good thing should have also the the negative effects, which are the disadvantages or the harmfulness of telecommunication. As it has the positive impact, it should also have the negative impact. So now for you, I expect from you to achieve the objective of explaining all these disadvantages of telecommunication correctly. Okay. Now, as we tried to explain the advantages of telecommunication, today also we are going to discuss deeply the disadvantages of telecommunication. You always discuss the negative impact, the negative impact of ICT in a different field, either in education, either in a business as our concern. And when we talk of ICT, we always include what we call the telecommunication. So, as you list, as you discuss, as you brainstorm on the disadvantages of information, communication technology, ICT, when you talk of that ICT, when you talk of its disadvantages, we also include the disadvantages of telecommunication, but as our concern, we are dealing with business activities, okay? Now, the disadvantage number 1, because I know you know, let us share what you know and what I know, then we put them together to achieve the strong and perfect thing, okay? The most disadvantage of telecommunication is what we call misunderstanding, okay? We have number 1, which says misunderstanding. You know, the opposite. When we talk of misunderstanding, the opposite of misunderstanding is understanding, okay? If you don't understand something, you are misunderstanding, okay? Now, if you understand something, you are understand. If you know something, okay? If you know it, you understand it. If you don't know it, you misunderstand it. But dear students, let us share or let us discuss. Does everybody in the world, or let us take our specific country, Rwanda, do all people in Rwanda able to access and manipulate? Let us take an example of a computer. Are all people in the country able to use and operate the computer? Of course, the answer is no. The answer is no. Because we have some people, we have some areas in this country where even to access the electricity is still being a big issue. It is still being a big problem. Now, if the people, they don't even access on the electricity, do you think are they able to use the computer? They are not. Okay? Simply, that is what we call misunderstanding. Though we encourage the people to be engaged in telecommunication, but all people are not able to be engaged due to different circumstances, like that one of electricity as infrastructure, like those ones of, we have very many things, the access of internet, very many things, okay? Excuse me. Now, misunderstanding, sometimes the message communicated are misunderstood by the end users, making it a barrier in communication. For example, we have seen that most of regulations that are used in telecommunication, mostly they are in English language, and some they can be in French language depending on the language mostly used in that country. But simply, the languages that are used in telecommunication mostly are foreigners. Taking an example of our country, Rwanda. Do we have some electronic materials in which its rules and regulations are transformed, are translated in Kinyarwanda? We don't have them. So, all people are not able to understand those foreign language apart from their mother tongue. That's the problem. So, the message now can be taken and misunderstood by the end user. End user are those people who will implement, those people who will put into practice. And because he has not understood well the meaning of the message, so the implementation will not be done accordingly. That is misunderstanding. Okay? That is one of the most and strongest disadvantage of telecommunication. Okay? We have also another which says a punk calls. The punk calls. What do you understand by punk calls? Some people, they misuse telecommunication to make calls which are misleading to the public. These are calls made to trick others. That is punk calls. You sometimes hear that the people, they are called that they have won for different gifts. You know that. And you see the people is called, maybe they are the people want to trick him. The people want to mislead him. They call him saying, are you Mr. For example, Mr. John. Mr. John, you have won 2 million from MTA. You understand? They are misleading him. They are tricking him. They ask him to do different procedures because they want to steal him even the small amount he has on the account. So they mislead him, they trick him, and they steal him. That is another effect of telecommunication. That is another effect of prank calls. Okay? Though we know that to call for getting the service is good, but sometimes we are called also when the people want to steal our money. Okay? We sometimes called when the people want to kill us due to different circumstances. That is a prank call. Okay. We have also another disadvantage which says telecommunications are expensive. Okay. There are expensive. Okay. They are expensive. I'm talking of those materials. The cost of a telephone line and the gadgets used in communication can sometimes be expensive. Okay? This has become a barrier to most startup business. The way of getting these telecommunication materials, it's not easy because some of them are expensive. You know that even at least to get the telephone which you can use and access simply and easily the internet, those of the middle class, they cost around 100,000 Rwandan francs. Okay? So those are in the middle. They are not high, but they are at the middle classes. If you want another one which is at another level, we also add some more amount. That is of telephone. When you talk of computers, when you talk of wireless, when you talk of internet, so the way of getting them, it is not easy. So the people who are starting the business, to access them accordingly, it's another hard task to them. Okay? We have also another disadvantage which says high electric bills. Okay? We have high electric bills. Okay? What do you understand by this disadvantage? Telecommunication increases business cost in terms of electricity, in terms of telecommunication also can be possible, cannot be possible without electricity. We have said so. And in some areas, it's too expensive for the business. What do you understand by this? We have tried to say that mostly in rural areas, they don't access electricity as well, okay? So it is very hard to them to access telecommunication as long as electricity is not available in that places. Do you understand? Again, another disadvantage of telecommunication is the remote area do not have access. The remote area. The remote area do not have what? They do not have access. What do you understand when you talk of the remote area? The remote area, those are rural areas. The village, okay? The rural areas face a challenge of poor network. Thus, making telecommunication next to impossible because the network is less. Okay? This makes the business fail to communicate effectively with its customers and suppliers. Due to what? Due to network which is very poor. Do you understand this? This telecommunication also has eliminated what we call face-to-face contacts. Eliminate face-to-face contact. It has stopped the meeting of people. The facial expression cannot exist as long as telecommunication is encouraged to be used. So the people to face his fellow should be another problem because of telecommunication. There is lack of facial expression when using most telecommunication. For example, telephones, fax, email, and radio. This may result into misunderstanding, misinterpreting the message, and unhealthy relationship, thus poor performance in a business. Okay. Interpretation, of course, it shouldn't be as well when the people are meeting live. Okay. When the people meet live, they correct one another. They exchange ideas directly and rapidly. Okay. So the way of interpreting and understanding the message should be, again, different. That is elimination of face-to-face contact. Okay. Now, all those, as we have said as we tried to explain these disadvantages of telecommunication, as you have seen that you have this list, which is about the misunderstanding, the prank calls where the people can trick you. This misunderstanding is the way of interpreting the message. There are expensive, some materials are expensive to be used. These high electricity bills, we have seen that mostly the place of the rural areas, the way of accessing electricity is not easy, so telecommunication is impossible. Hence, the electricity is not there. We have seen the remote area do not have access. This remote area, we have seen that these are the rural areas. The way of accessing the internet or the network is not easy to them. And now the face-to-face contact has been eliminated due to telecommunication. If you want somebody, if you want to know the information about him, you call. When you call, you can call them by voice. You can call him via video calling. You can see him, whatever he's doing. But though you do that, you don't meet him live. You don't meet him face-to-face, which is not good. Okay. Now, apart from now the disadvantages of telecommunication, we shall have also the business documents and the payment procedures. Okay, we have the business payment. We shall have the business documents. The business documents, and the payment procedures. And payment procedures. They are all these that we are discussing about. They are in the office procedures. The business documents and the payment procedures. When we talk of documents, you shall see the long list of the documents that you can use in a certain business. Okay. You are in the sales and the marketing department. That is an example of a business, and you are required to connect with potential customers, suppliers, and the banks. Identify and explain some of the documents you will need in the buying goods and services, as well as the payment of goods. Students, those are an activity to brainstorm on. Okay? That is a task to think about. As we said, you can be in the sales department. You can be in the marketing departments, okay, of any business. Okay? Now, which are the documents that you will need? For example, when you want to buy goods and services, when you want to pay those goods, which document to be filled. And it is not your first time to hear this, because from ordinary level, you have studied about these documents. Okay. What are those documents now? Can you list them? Very good. Okay. Now, among these documents, the documents used in buying and selling goods and services. These documents, we are going to highlight them. But before, what do you understand when we talk of buying of goods? What do you understand when we talk of selling of goods? Okay. You have to understand these two terms so as you identify these documents after recognizing the meaning of these terms. Okay. We have what we call the buying of goods. This is a process where a person obtains, okay? The person obtains the right of ownership over a product in return for a price. There is an exchange. You pay amount of money, which is the price, and you get the ownership. You possess the good or service. It is now yours. Okay? Selling of goods. This is a process where the seller gives up the right of ownership of a product, okay, for a price. In today's modern business environment, it is necessary to prepare some documents to make it easy for the flow of goods and services. Okay? These documents may include the following. We have seen that when buying of goods, you are buying the ownership. You want any good, any commodity, any product to be yours. When you sell good, you sell also the ownership. You give up. You had it, but you want to give up in exchange of money in terms of price. Okay. Now, dear students, you have to follow these documents. The documents that are mostly in payment procedures and the buying procedures, that is the document number 1, it is called the purchase. We have the purchase requisition. This is the purchase what? Purchase requisition or purchase order. It can be purchase requisition or can also be called the purchase order. What do you understand by purchase requisition? What do you understand by purchase order? Okay. A purchase requisition form is a document which allows, okay, it allows employees to request the purchase of a good or service using a uniform process that provides details of the purchase for a purchasing agent, accounting employee, or whoever approves the purchases. These forms usually include the name of product, the product that you want to purchase, or the service. Its name, it is identified. The quantity desired, okay? When in the purchase requisition form, do you understand? In the purchase requisition form, we indicate the name. The name of what? We indicate, we show, okay, the name of any product or the name of product or service that you want to purchase or to buy. It should be highlighted. Okay. You also indicate the quantity desired, the amount, the quantity that you want to buy. Okay. You have also to indicate the stock. You indicate the stock or what, or model of number, or the model of number. They are all highlighted in what? In purchase requisition form. In purchase requisition form. Okay. You indicate the desired delivery. The desired delivery date. That is the deadline. The date to be delivered the goods or services commanded or invoiced. Okay. You have also to indicate the cost and the reason. The cost, you have the cost and the reason. You indicate the cost and the reason for what? Reason for the request. Okay? This is now what we call the purchase requisition form. You indicate the name of the product, you indicate the quantity desired, you indicate the stock or model of number, you indicate the desired delivery date, you also indicate the cost that you want to fit that product. Okay, that is the purchase requisition form. Okay, as you see there, that is a format. That is a format of the purchase requisition form. That one, it is very clear, and you have identified the components of that format. Okay. Apart from the purchase requisition form, we have the letter of inquiry. This is a document sent by the buyer to the seller to find out about the goods required, the availability, the prices, quantity, terms of payment. The buyer can send a number of letters to various sellers to find the goods at lower price and of quality. That is the letter of inquiry. That is the format of letter of inquiry. It shows the from PO box. You indicate the date to the things are going. You also include the details, and that is the letter or the stationery letter or the supply. Okay. Now, dear friends of mine, we talk about the two documents, about these documents and the payment procedures. You have seen that you have the purchase requisition form and the letter of inquiry. Now, we shall continue with the next documents. But before I review, I have to review with some exercise or the homework. Explain the disadvantages of telecommunication in the business organization. Okay? I think you understand this, and it is very clear for you. Now, dear students, during your free time, try to discuss on this. So, thank you very much. Thank you, dear friends of mine. Thank you for being active in this lesson. Hope we shall meet next time. Goodbye. See you.